Hello everyone, how are we all doing? Happy November. For those of you I didn't see yesterday, how are you all doing? Anyone up to anything exciting? Just, I guess it all depends. Like, I think firework night is a very British thing, so I don't know if you guys probably have bonfires and fireworks at different times, but it's like bonfire weekend here, so that's fun. There'll be a lot of fireworks tonight, I'm sure. Um, so yeah, today's stream is a continuation of last week where we were looking at all the ways you can use AI to help your writing process that isn't writing the prose itself. The document is the same as last week. We will continue adding to that, and it's linked in the description below already. And yeah, I just thought before we go in, while everyone's like, signing on and stuff, I just go over some of the changelog because we've had an update since last session. So, highly requested feature. We have now added word count per chapter in review mode. So if we go to Novelcrafter, I will just go into Only Dogs Left. Hello, Nikki. Luckily, nothing like that in South Africa. New Year though. Dot dot dot. And SSN says hi. Oh my God, YouTube's given us a spoopy font. If you go into the review feature, you can now see that we have word count by scenes, but we also have word count by chapters. That's pretty darn cool. We also now have in the write interface. Now we have to see if I've got any left in. Yes. So we can now, if you go on the action menu in a section, you can choose whether it is included or not in the word count. So no more just having things like showing up for everything. You can now be very precise. Yeah, I'm expecting loads. On Hello Joe, how are you doing? So yeah, so we've got this now, and it marks if it's excluded from the word count. You can see up here. So now if we go into like the review, that was chapter 9. You can see chapter 9 is now much more proportional to the rest of the story. What other new things? So you just go on to feedback.novelcrafter.com/changelog or via like your face. There is also an undo redo button in the editor bubble, which it will show as we're going through stuff. And there's also been like lots of other little bugs and fixes. So yeah, a nice little like Prezi for you all. Um, oh, Corey's reset the font. Oh, was that what I was doing when I didn't realize? Okay, that was my fault. My bad. I was making a spoopy font appear. Hey, but I liked the font. I mean, it was hard to read, but it was cool. Okay, so I'm going to do a very quick overview of stuff from last session so that any of you who weren't here or don't want to have to watch last week's stream get an idea. All the writing and basically what I said is already written here, so you know. So last week we were covering kind of stuff. Corey is a big meanie, lol. So the stuff in this is more a last session was like the pre-writing, so before you get to actually putting prose on paper or screen. There was stuff we did things related to idea generation, so looking for small scale arguments, how AI reconciles different things. We had a little look at bringing yourself into AI prompting and by kind of like injecting your personality into your questions, i.e., for me, putting in lots of Catisisms. It kind of helps the AI kind of get your sense of humor, kind of primes it for what you're doing. So yeah, you probably have noticed my questions are not like formally structured questions. It's just like my stream of consciousness. And if any of you saw me yesterday on the stream, you see how I write without AI, and it is also just stream of consciousness going. So it kind of fits in. We then looked at validating story arcs and making sure that we don't have any plot holes. And if we do, looking at ways that we can resolve them. We have a list of questions here that you can try out yourselves. We also tested out ideas. So we had, basically, we gave the AI 2 ideas that we had for the way the story could progress. And we were like, okay, give me the pros and cons of each of these options. Like, don't tell me which one's better, but give me a list of reasons for both. And that kind of helps give you more input to make your own decisions. So, and obviously you could ask, which idea works best if you wanted to, but this also gives you a chance to just kind of be like, I want to make the decisions myself. It's kind of emphasizing that. And then finally, we looked at character deep dives, so character interviews. You have your characters, they're awesome. You want to make sure they are doing everything that you want them to. So it kind of helps when you've got a very vague codex entry and you want to flesh it out. You can chat with the character, get more of an idea of their personality, all that kind of stuff. It also helps with voice sheets. So this was all the stuff we did last week. Took an hour. They're all very useful things that don't involve prose writing. But what about when we're actually in the right interface and we're looking to do our writing? So I'm going to start off. We've only got one thing for this because I guess the whole point is we're using AI without it generating prose. But one thing during the writing process that I feel is really important, and something we get asked about a lot actually in Novelcrafter is for those who use voice to text services. So sometimes we have ideas, we want to get them out. We don't want to have to put in the thoughts of specifying where new lines should go or where to put speech marks. Depending on how good your software is, it may be good or bad at that. It may not even say when text is finished. AI is great at cleaning up your dictation notes, and if you prompt it correctly, it retains all the prose, with the only changes being the addition of punctuation and new lines. So I'm going to share a prompt that I've made for when I've done my The Wolf in Red stream yesterday. It is, I'll show it for transparency. Super simple, literally. Here's some context. Whenever you're given raw text, reformat it to include punctuation, including speech marks, quotes, commas, full stops, and the like. Where it makes sense grammatically, start a new paragraph. Keep the prose words the same, only add in formatting, only return the rephrased text, nothing else. The reason that I give the words before is so that it can kind of also get an idea of what I like with punctuation. So if, say, I want all thoughts to be in italics, if it reads up and sees, it's like, oh, this is a thought. I see that she's done this before. Okay, I can put this stuff in italics. It's kind of giving a guideline to all that. Let me add this section to the document y'all have. Obviously, there's room for mistakes. Dictation software isn't perfect, but because we're going to be editing the prose anyway, after writing, like, it's not that much of a biggie. You'll notice things. Like, I find that because the dictation software's trained on American voices more, sometimes it doesn't get my accent, and that's fine. Like, but I hear a lot of good things about Apple. So if you're on a Mac or an iPad or anything, you've got a good inbuilt software. So I'm going to give an example. I use the inbuilt one inside Windows. The output is interesting. So let's I guess we could go into Only Dogs Left. Let's have a look. Where am I up to? So you do the Windows key and H to get it up for Windows. Delilah feels like she is going to a funeral as she approaches Perrin's house. Despite the opulence of everything around, she doesn't feel out of place, but more just kind of meh about the whole thing. It's pointless showmanship, has no practicality, and is a waste of money. She stops at the foot of the stairs, wondering if this is a good decision, but then decides screw it and marches up the top. Knock, knock, knock. She bangs as loud as she can. So this is just my summary. If I'm making like a summary of something and I'm trying to work out what I want in a scene. So I select it all. I'm going to go for dictation cleanup. Oh yeah, Francois, say what your what's for you for software and mention yeah, that is great. I mean, this is just what I could get easiest because it was inbuilt. So we're having a look. This uses GPT-4 Mini, dirt cheap. Click. So it has rephrased it into past tense because I've set the story as in past tense. But that, I mean, that is just that might be something that I would want to tweak. However, I'm not mad about that. But it gives you that kind of like neatening up. Ramtuff says, just here to chime in since I'm at work. I look forward to seeing, discuss AI for analysis and marketing materials. That will be towards the latter half. Okay, so TurboScribe works like a charm and is web-based. I started using it and uninstalled Dragon as I'm on a Windows PC. Much better than Dragon, and their free plan is 90 minutes per day. Okay. That might be something I look into then for tonight's stream. But yeah, so you can see even with the base thing, you can get prose very easily just by getting it to clean up, and it goes from a block paragraph. It's just kind of like that nice starting point, so you don't have to think about how you're going to format each paragraph. You can just kind of say what's on your mind, get it down, and then AI just cleans it up, keeps your words. So, I mean, if any of you ever want to give a go to just dictating your notes, feel free. I've also been doing there's the streams going on, roughly daily streams where I'm writing without AI, and I'm using Diction for that, or Dictation, because it's more interesting for you guys to listen to because I'm not just staring at a screen and thinking, but also it kind of gives a chance to show off some prompts using Novelcrafter without just having, showing the different features. Okay, so then we go to editing. So I think the biggest use of AI that authors have without even realizing, I think a lot of the times, is like, so services like Grammarly, ProWriting, Raid, etc. They're like inbuilt like spelling mistakes, grammar, using a thesaurus. Like a lot of this uses AI technology in the background. We don't think about it. It's just those little bits that are unobtrusive to the writing process and keep going. And you can kind of mimic some of these with AI. So we could do, you could either use a prompt that rewrites prose and kind of cuts out or replaces filler verbs or filler words. So let's make an example. So I want to do something that has lots of weak verbs in it. Actually, yep, we're going to do so Delilah's quickly walking the shops when she thought she saw her quickly moving quickly in the shadows. Okay, and now let's do, if we go on to prompts, this is me literally off the cuff. Let's go rephrase, clone this, instructions. When you're given text, rephrase to use stronger verbs, remove adverbs or adjectives, and replacing them with strong, more impactful terms. Also remove filler words. So, but keep the prose making sense. I'm throwing this out. We're going to see how it goes. I'll just do GPT-4 Mini. Okay, so Delilah hurried to the shops when she spotted a creature darting in the shadows. From, she was walking quickly to the shops when she thought she saw a creature moving quickly in the shadows. This is kind of like you've used your thesaurus and it's just kind of applied to your sentence. It's made everything so much more impactful. And again, a cheap model, you could probably remove the context of the words before if you wanted to. I would probably keep them in just to give, you know, again, keep feeding in context. But it gives you that idea of where to start. If anyone's interested, I will put the prompt in, I guess. Is there any ways in editing that you guys use the software, use like prompting to help with the writing that you've done before? Because like this is, it's not got the squiggly lines highlighting things, but you can just apply it. It's kept your prose. It's just improved those little sections and removed words that weren't needed. Of course, I can't do a stream without looking at my good friend Drunk Claude. This is the beginner-friendly way to get feedback and a laugh at the same time. Let me just... Let me get the prompt for this. So I've got here the new and old. I would personally recommend staying with the old Claude. Okay, so no prompt or person is perfect. Even with beta reading, readers disagree on stuff. You want to take everything that Drunk Claude says with a pinch of salt, check over every bit of information and see if you agree with it or not. Yeah, new sonnet, absolutely far too nice. It does give some feedback, but it is not good for the purposes of what we want with this prompt, which is to kind of act like our initial prompting that we saw above, where we're asking we're asking for feedback. We want to improve. Once you've done your initial analysis, you can also use this prompt where you can ask questions, validate our work. Is XYZ written the way you thought it had? you can also get it to rewrite stuff, and it does a pretty bang up job at rewriting stuff as well, although a little bit sweary. I think that's because it's drunk. Like with beta readers, vague questions won't get answered in detail. AI is very positive leaning, so it can be hard to get enough data. So you want to kind of just be very specific, ask it to do its specific task, and then it will give you something that is a little bit more usable. For those of you who like playing around with prompts, this is a really good prompt to practice your editing skill, prompt like manipulation on, or if you want to get into prompt editing, really good start. You can do a brain transplant to design this as someone coming at the issue with a very different background. Would you like to see us try and repersonalize Drunk Claude? Let me know. I think we might have enough time to do that. Drunk Claude also can give some real gems that, when taken at a whole story level, might change your mind on what you do. AI characters have to be relatable, no matter what the personality is. The readers must understand them. Typo. We picture the characters in our minds, and if that picture is vivid, then the author has succeeded. So if Drunk Claude isn't getting the vision that we're wanting, then what hope do we have for humans, frankly? We want to tease out the vibes from the AI, but if we ask outright, it'll just give us positive confirmation most of the time, which is kind of annoying. Another great way that or reason for writers to use AI for the first round of feedback is that it can help bruise our egos. It is absolutely fine to argue back, hide in your room for 3 weeks, and just throw a tantrum when AI critiques your work. Like, it's not going to know. Whereas when it comes to people, we kind of have to start building up that tolerance. Like when reviews come in or when beta readers give us feedback, it is a big ego bruiser. So AI feedback is kind of like our safe space in this, and can kind of just help give us a bit more freedom to do that first round of edits and not be afraid. I'm going to take a drink, and then we will do a quick brain transplant for Claude. Does anyone have any requests? What kind of personality should we retrain Claude to be? Oh. Corey, do you have any suggestions if no one else does? Good morning, Greg. Okay, new persona, a disappointed high school English teacher. Are they disappointed with you or disappointed with how their life has turned out? Because they're very different vibes. Like, did they want to be an author and haven't? You are a high school English teacher who is invested in helping you become, in helping the writer become the best they can. You're referring they're disappointed with you because they know you can write better. Hi, all running a bit late together. Both make it a teacher on the verge of retirement or a new Okay, well, what about we'll do all of these step by step. Let's start with your high school English teacher who's invested in helping the writer become the best they can. You're offering advice. Um, um, is that how you spell disillusioned? I'm just gonna check. It's clear we've all encountered our share of English teachers. Yeah. I wonder if it's different for English as a second language teachers. Yeah, the high school teacher supplements their meager pay by freelance literature reviews. Okay, let's make sure I've removed anything about alcohol now. Drunk. Okay. I have plenty of time. And you enjoy imparting your knowledge onto anyone who will listen. Okay, as a former English as a second language teacher, we were encouraged to be very peppy and encouraging. Oh, best part is we always had spelling mistakes on our English exams, but not the other ones. Always good for a chuckle in an exam room. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a scene that I've already drunk clauded. So that'll be this one. What scene was this? Chapter 8. Oh, is this new Claude? Yeah, this is new Claude. Let me try and find something with old Claude. Okay, interesting. Oh, hello, Jean-Luc. Yeah. Oh no, I am going full out in November. Like December I'll just be like hiding under a blanket fort, but November you're getting a daily Kate. Yeah, I'm also doing The Wolf in Red at 2 hours after this stream finishes. Okay, chapter 8. Chat with scene. New chat. See, the issue is it's always going to say new Claude on there because it was the new Claude before, which is kind of annoying, but what can you do? Analysis, not drunk Claude. We'll use the old Claude. I mean, Jean-Luc, it's on the events page. Like, you could just go on the Discord events and it's on the YouTube streams, you know? You need to be following, you need to click that notification icon, Jean-Luc, so you get notified whenever we do streams. Okay. Analysis, not drunk Claude. Let's see how it goes. We'll see how the personality has changed. Another aspiring writer seeking validation for their mediocre scribblings. How quaint. Well, buckle up. Hey, rude. Well, buckle up, sunshine, because I'm about to take you on a journey through the wasteland of your prose. First off, let's address the elephant in the room, the genre. This, my dear student, is a ham-fisted attempt at a dystopian science fiction with a dash of political intrigue. It's as if George Orwell and Philip K. Dick had a love child, and that child was dropped on its head. Repeatedly. The intentions of the scene seem to be to advance the plot while revealing more about the world and the characters' motivations. A noble aim, I suppose, if only it were executed with any semblance of skill. Now, onto the pacing. Oh, where to begin? The scene starts with promise, I'll give you that. The banter between Delilah and Zora has a decent rhythm, and the initial setup of the air duct repair creates some tension. However, as soon as we get to the eavesdropping section, everything grinds to a halt. You spend far too much time on Delilah's internal monologue and physical sensations. We get it. She's uncomfortable in tight spaces. Move on. The conversation between Gaius and the Archon drags on like a funeral procession and a particularly disliked relative. Cut it down, get to the meat of it. For the love of all that's holy, don't have your character conveniently overhear the exact information she needs. It's lazy writing and you're better than that, or at least, I hope you are. The pacing picks up again when Perenasta enters the scene, but then we're subjected to another tedious back and forth that seems to go nowhere. It's like watching two particularly dim-witted cats batting at a dead mouse. As for the characters, they're about as three-dimensional as a sheet of paper. Delilah, our supposed protagonist, comes across as a walking bundle of anxiety and poor decision-making skills. I mean, yeah. Her internal dialogue is repetitive and often states the obvious. We don't need to be told she's scared every other paragraph. Show us through her actions, her physical reactions. Perenasta is a walking cliche of the mysterious wealthy benefactor with ulterior motives. His dialogue is so on the nose, it's practically a septum piercing. Did you pull that from Villainous Monologues for Dummies? The Archon and Gaius are essentially cardboard cutouts of evil authority figures. They may as well be twirling their mustaches and cackling maniacally. Give them some depth, for crying out loud. Does this... Oh, wow, okay, this is harsh, dudes. Okay, I think our English teacher is harsher than Drunk Claude, wow. Remember, writing is rewriting. This is a first draft, and first drafts are allowed to be terrible. That's what editing is for. Now, if you excuse me, I need a stiff drink to wash away this taste of mediocrity. Class dismissed. Oh my god, this is a burn and a half. I will send you guys this. Oh my god, my ego. Because Drunk Claude liked this. Drunk Claude was like, you know, like all, you know, I mean, I gave a 8 out of 10. Yeah, wow, my ego. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I'll keep working on the scene. Like, that's the whole point of writing, but ow, bitch. Where's my... I might drunk English teacher because I mean I think they're just bitchy. There. I'm adding that in. Let's there you go. Take a breath. It's okay, Kate. Just AI having a bad day. Exactly. But I think this proves my point that getting this before you send it out to people is like a great way of being like, okay, I'm not taking this personally. This is just a stream of generated words. There is some feedback that is useful there, but on the other hand, you know, you can't take it personally. It's just AI. Also, guys, when these finally go on the official website, I'm gonna have to remove all the Kateisms and swearing. Sad face. But yeah, you can see that this is kind of giving us, you know, using Drunk Claude, it helps build up your stamina as a writer for having your ego absolutely crushed and destroyed. As someone who's going through the beta reading process right now, my beta readers are much kinder than AI is about my writing. I think also because AI or because human readers are more likely to forgive things if they're enjoying the story. But oh, let me give you this one as well. Okay, next bit, whole story analysis. This is the mirror image of validating story arcs. You have to be super specific with your prompting in order to kind of get the answers you need. If you were to ask a simple question, like, I don't know, I'm now trying to think of a simple question. How is the pacing? You will only get vague answers. You need to give it a framework for the story analysis, ask specific questions, and guide it to how you want it answered. So in addition to like the story arc questions we asked in the original section, if we scroll up, like these questions, you or about pacing, you can also ask about like engagement. You want to make sure that the reader is coming away with a connection to the story. It's hard to ask AI to determine if a reader will be engaged or not, but through answering questions, we can kind of infer these things. It can get very expensive, but you can totally develop your skills in prompting with Haiku or GPT-4 and Mini, and then apply this to more capable models. That 25 cents that you spend will be worth it as you've pre-screened your questions. You can also have your entire codex as context. So using like the general purpose prompt for that, and then feed it your story and your codex and be like, can you validate everything? Is there anywhere that like anywhere in the prose that contradicts the world building we already have? And then you can like analyze things. You could go into specific codex entries and be like, I want to make sure the magic is all consistent. Show me anywhere where magic rules or society rules are broken, that kind of thing. You don't need to use a specific prompt. Like you can just do it by asking questions with a general purpose prompt, but you could also make a prompt with all these questions in that it will then answer. Jean-Luc says that I also have a prompt to gauge the emotional impact of the story on the reader. How do you find that goes, Jean-Luc? Do you find it's accurate to then when human readers look at it? Okay, and then finally, we are going on to marketing. If you want the AI to have nothing to do with the creative process yourself, like itself, there are still ways you can use AI to help as an author. AI can help you digest key plot points down to only a few sentences, can write story pitches, we'll look at that in a minute, and hone in on your target audience, either confirming that your thoughts were right or helping you work out what the target audience is. The story pitch we'll look at first. It's meant to crystallize the idea of your story into a few sentences. Author and writing educator James Scott Bell, totally recommend his book. Sorry, that was so smooth, me getting it off the bookshelf without looking, and then everything was going chaotically as I was trying to like shove it back in. Provided the inspiration for this pitch structure, which then Corey took and made into a codex entry, which is on the Discord under codex share channel. But next time someone asks you what you're working on, you'll be able to tell them in a few sentences. And when you're deep into writing the story, you can also remind yourself what the story is about. So, Corey's pitch structure codex entry here for us all. When asked to brainstorm a story pitch, use the following structure. The first sentence introduces the main character and describes their initial situation. The second sentence begins with the word when and describes the inciting incident. And the third sentence begins with the word now and describes what must happen for the main character to win the objective. So we now have some instructions on how to use it in chat. So you don't have to include genre if it's already a codex entry. Okay, so we're going to use it to start with on a kind of a blank novel with we're just seeing what pitches are like, and then we're going to take it into a story that we've already written, probably Only Dogs Left, and use the entire scene summary, like outline, I think, to then do that. So we're just going into chat. We are going to take this. Oh. Call it. And then you can see now that it's underlined here. I will go to Sonnet and let's see how this goes. Lyra Silverleaf is a young elven healer who has never ventured beyond the ancient trees of the Ever-Whisper Forest when a mysterious plague... Let me zoom in. She went mysterious plague, traversing human kingdoms, prophecies, evidence that dark elves aren't as extinct. Okay, interesting. So they're all like, yeah, different reasons you can kind of see there. Greg asks, if you rewrite your story pitch, does the AI update your storyline? No. So your story pitch is more a guide for you. You can't put it in and then AI automatically will rewrite every line you've ever written to make sure it's there. It's more a marketing tool for like describing to humans what your story is about. But you can see it does a good job. I mean, obviously we've got a very vague pitch, but we could make stories out of these. I want to then take the same principle and apply it to a story that we've already written. So we go back into Only Dogs Left. We're going to go chat, full novel outline. Please write a story pitch for this story based on the outline provided. The protagonist is Delilah. Okay, Delilah Harris, skilled mechanic, maintains the city's crumbling infrastructure while investigating a parent's mysterious disappearance years ago. When her sister is arrested for a terrorist bombing and she discovers evidence linking her family's fate to a rebel movement, Delilah must navigate a web of political intrigue and betrayal to uncover the truth. Now, torn between loyalty to her mentor, her sister's radical rebel faction, and a charming investigator with his own agenda, Delilah must decide where justice truly lies before the city's fragile systems collapse and destroy everyone she loves. I feel like that is a very accurate depiction of the novel. It's a bit wordy, but that does fit. What do you guys think? How good a job has it done at condensing, thousands of words of summary? Oh yeah, absolutely chop off some words. Um I mean, I'm just gonna ask, please rewrite to make it less wordy. Okay. Delilah Harris, a mechanic in the frozen city of Nova Bezos, maintains the failing infrastructure while searching for answers about her missing parents. When her sister is arrested for terrorism and evidence emerges linking her family to rebel movement, Delilah must choose between loyalty and justice. Now, caught between rebels, aristocrats, and a charming investigator with secrets of his own, she races to prevent the city's collapse and save those she loves. Yeah, I think that's the whole thing. We're trying to get something that isn't spoiling the story. It's a pitch. It's there to make people want to read it, not, you know, go off and do others, be like, okay, cool story, move on. So as we've seen, you don't need the full novel for this. The outline is enough. You can also get the AI to try and write a marketing blurb too. So let's try and make a logline for this story. This again, Kate experimenting. We're going to see how this goes. Maybe we'll go from story pitch to make a story blurb. And make a in a world buried beneath miles of ice, the last remnants of humanity survive in Nova Bezos, a city of stark contrast where aristocrats feast and the underclass starves. I know it's very stereotypical, but For Delilah Harris, life is about keeping her head down and the city's ancient machinery running. As a mechanic, she knows every pipe, power conduit, and safety protocol. As a survivor, she knows which questions not to ask. But when she discovers evidence of sabotage in the power grid, along with a melted earring that looks eerily familiar, Delilah is drawn into a web of long buried secrets. Secrets that powerful people would kill to keep hidden. Secrets that could tear apart what remains of civilization. Some mysteries should stay frozen in the ice. First in a new thrilling series that blends post-apocalyptic survival with political intrigue. Ugh, it loves political intrigue. AI is just like into that shit. But very interesting kind of to see, okay, it's starting to make something. I'm kind of now curious to see what it would write as a logline. Okay, let's see what our favorite is. Yeah, exactly. You wanted more expressing highlights of the story. Okay, so in a frozen city powered by ancient technology, a young mechanic must choose between saving her sister and preventing the collapse of humanity's last refuge. Or, when her sister joins a rebellion, a mechanic discovers that fixing broken machines is easier than fixing a fractured society. In humanity's last city, one mechanic's search for her missing parents unravels a conspiracy that could destroy everything. I feel like the first one kind of fits things more. And it's also like at the very end, like because hashtag spoilers, Kira dies. Um it fits really well with that. Um because in order to prevent the collapse of Nova Bezos, she has to stop her sister. So yeah, I like that as a in a frozen city powered by ancient technology, a young mechanic must choose between saving her sister and preventing the collapse of humanity's last refuge. Coming to cinemas this December. PG rated. Or something. Yeah. I'll give you that entire conversation. It's interesting. I think that's the thing, that they're interesting to see. You can also Google 105 famous log lines, and that is really good for like giving you some ideas about it all of like other log lines. So you could also like feed in some log lines to kind of like get it primed, I guess. But yeah, okay, conclusions. This is where I'm going to turn to you all. So, oh, thank you for the. I like my movie voice trailer. I feel like I need to. Oh, BTS is behind the scenes. So just anything that isn't actually story related. It's like behind stage door, costumes, yada yada. So the final task today, I want you guys. There's 22 of you, so I'm expecting some people to reply. To give me some conclusions from the 2 streams that we've done on where AI really shines in helping writers without writing the prose itself. This is kind of like our marketing pitch to AI skeptics about how AI is actually a really cool thing to help, and it doesn't have to steal creativity. We're going to be like, okay, these are the cool things that AI can do to help us, and we're going to write these conclusions down. I see Corey is already there, right? So yes, does anyone have any things they would like to add to our conclusions from these 2 streams? I mean, my contribution while I'm waiting for others is going to be, AI is amazing at Jen K. Okay, so we've got outlines and all, guys. Okay, brainstorming ideas, planning and editing, summarizing. Blurbs, and then the English teacher example is great as it makes you think in a different way after getting a tissue, because it might make you cry. Yeah. Helping our bruise our egos. AI is good at helping to guide you through your story outlines and character development. So yeah, I mean that is a really good list as well. Like I think it's kind of like there is so much that you can use AI for that is lifting your creativity and just kind of making it that, just making it fun. That's all we want with writing. A good time. Oh, accessing the full work in Novelcrafter and providing ad copy, keeping me free to focus on the creative stuff. Yes. Nikki says, when I'm deciding between which way the story should go in the AI and asking the AI to list them helps put a distance between me and the scene. Circus says, helps me take risks and step outside my comfort zone when creating characters or stories. Let's approach. So yeah, I mean, I think there is a lot of really cool things. I kind of now, after doing this, really want to do a stream on different Claude beta reader critiques. I feel like you could really get some cool characters and like have different versions that like look at everything in such different ways. I don't know, would that be something people would be interested in? Just seeing like 4 completely different personas. Emery says, evaluating the potential impacts on a character story if you're trying to decide between multiple options. Yeah, I add that in here, like. And like, I think with that, like, I use that with Only Dogs Left, and Delilah being like, which would impact her more, seeing the people fight with weapons or fighting with their fists. Francois says AI makes us creative directors and not writer only. Yeah, no, it's like it's very much like a director. Like yeah, in a film, like you're kind of like you've got the screenplay and you can kind of like tune things. It is kind of like yeah, um, gives us a bit more freedom, I think, to kind of take a step back. And sometimes we might not want to take a step back. Sometimes we might be like, okay, this is a really emotional scene. I want to write this myself. I want to get in there. But also, if I mean, like, okay, I'm taking myself as an example. I cry so easily at films, and like, I, I am a absolute like I just empathize too much with things. So I will then start making myself cry when writing. And I'm like, okay, I haven't got time for this. My eyes are really hurting. Can you not? So AI sometimes helps just like give myself a little bit distance. Oh, jaded actor Claude reviewing your story as a potential new role. Oh my god, Corey, can you write that down? That sounds like an amazing idea um for a version. We will craft all these personas together. Okay, so next stream is going to be beta reader reviewers for your stories. I think. But yeah, that is our hour up. God, that has flown by. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I will be back in 2 hours, writing The Wolf in Red, episode 1, chapter 2, where we see Red full shift to badass. Okay, Paul says I had the small sporting character, Latin teacher, the AI spewed Latin prose from the character, so now developing that one. Yeah, I suppose yeah, you don't want to be too much. Yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah, feel free to leave comments if you have any other ideas or requests of personas for next week's class. I am very excited to start working on this. And I think, have I given all the conclusions? I can't remember. Let me. Oh, you're very welcome, Joe. Thank you for coming. Thank you, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. I will see you in 2 hours time. Bye.